Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, is often considered one of the most haunted places on Earth due to its rich history, ancient architecture, and numerous tales of paranormal activity. Several factors contribute to Edinburgh's reputation as a city with a haunted past. Historical significance. Scotland's historical significance is deeply intertwined with its reputation for being haunted. The country's rich and complex history, marked by wars, political intrigues, and cultural changes, has left an indelible mark on its landscapes and structures. Here are some aspects of Scotland's historical significance that contribute to its haunted reputation. Wars and conflicts. Scotland has a history of wars and conflicts, including the Wars of Scottish Independence and the Jacobite uprisings. The battles fought on Scottish soil, such as the Battle of Culloden in 1746, have left lasting impressions on the land. Many locations associated with these conflicts are believed to be haunted, with tales of soldiers' ghosts and residual energies from the violence. Cultural and religious changes. The Reformation in the 16th century brought about significant changes to Scotland's religious landscape. The suppression of Catholicism and the establishment of Protestantism led to the destruction of monasteries and religious structures. The echoes of these turbulent times are said to resonate in haunted locations, with stories of ghostly monks and nuns haunting old religious sites. Executions and torture. Edinburgh, in particular, has a history of public executions and torture. The Grassmarket, once a site for public executions, and the infamous Edinburgh Castle have witnessed the suffering of individuals condemned for various reasons. Ghost stories often involve the spirits of those who met a gruesome end, leading to claims of paranormal activity in these places. Witch trials. Like many other regions in Europe, Scotland experienced a period of witch trials in the 16th and 17th centuries. Accused individuals faced persecution, and many were executed. Locations associated with these trials, such as the village of Culross in Fife, are believed to be haunted by the spirits of those who suffered during this dark period of history. Clan feuds. Scotland has a history of clan feuds and conflicts, with stories of betrayal, revenge, and bloodshed. Castles and strongholds associated with these feuds, such as Cawdor Castle and Eilean Donan Castle, are often linked to ghostly legends and eerie occurrences. Historic castles and mansions. Scotland is home to numerous historic castles, mansions, and stately homes, many of which have witnessed centuries of events. These structures, with their grandeur and age, often become the focal points of ghost stories. Edinburgh Castle, Stirling Castle, and Glamis Castle are examples of such locations with reported paranormal activity. Mysterious landscapes. Scotland's landscapes, characterized by rugged mountains, mist-covered moors, and ancient forests, add to the mysterious ambience. Remote and desolate areas are often associated with supernatural tales, with stories of spectral figures and eerie phenomena in the wild. The combination of these historical elements, along with the storytelling tradition passed down through generations, has contributed to Scotland's reputation as a land steeped in the supernatural. Whether rooted in historical events or embellished over time, the haunted tales of Scotland continue to capture the imagination of locals and visitors alike. Graveyards and cemeteries. Scotland's graveyards and cemeteries are often associated with haunting tales and paranormal experiences, contributing to the country's reputation for being rich in ghost stories and supernatural phenomena. Here are some reasons why graveyards and cemeteries in Scotland are believed to be haunted. 1. Historical significance. Many Scottish graveyards and cemeteries have deep historical roots, often dating back centuries. The historical events, wars, plagues, and social upheavals that took place in these locations are believed to have left lingering spiritual energy. Residual energy from traumatic events may contribute to reports of paranormal activity. 2. Covenanters' graves. The period of the Covenanters, a group of Scottish Presbyterians who faced persecution in the 17th century, is often associated with haunting tales. Graveyards such as Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh contain the tombs of Covenanters, and their stories are intertwined with reports of supernatural occurrences in these burial grounds. 3. Burial practices and folklore. Scotland has a rich tradition of burial practices and folklore that includes beliefs in spirits, fairies, and other supernatural entities. The idea that spirits may linger around their final resting places or that certain rituals are needed to appease the dead is ingrained in Scottish folklore, contributing to the perception of haunted graveyards. 4. Famous ghost stories. Specific graveyards and cemeteries in Scotland have become famous for their ghost stories. For example, Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh is associated with the Mackenzie poltergeist, a reported malevolent spirit linked to the tomb of Sir George Mackenzie. Local legends and reported encounters with such entities contribute to the haunted reputation of these sites. 5. Burial grounds with dark pasts. Some cemeteries and graveyards are linked to darker historical events, such as the persecution of witches or the burial grounds associated with criminals and executed individuals. These sites are often believed to be haunted due to the tragic circumstances surrounding the people buried there. 6. Victorian cemetery culture. During the Victorian era, there was a fascination with death and mourning customs. This era saw the creation of elaborate tombs and mausoleums in cemeteries like the Glasgow necropolis. The Victorian interest in the afterlife and spiritualism contributes to the perception that these cemeteries may be haunted. 7. Urban legends and myths. Over time, certain urban legends and myths have developed around specific graveyards and cemeteries. These stories, whether rooted in historical events or purely fictional, contribute to the perception of these locations as haunted. 8. Ghost tours and tourism. The popularity of ghost tours and paranormal tourism in Scotland has further perpetuated the haunted reputation of its graveyards and cemeteries. Guided tours often share local legends, ghost stories, and alleged encounters, creating an atmosphere of mystery and intrigue. Old Town and underground vaults being haunted. Edinburgh's Old Town and the underground vaults are among the most famous and haunted locations. 1. Dark and narrow streets. Edinburgh's Old Town is characterized by its labyrinthine network of narrow, cobblestone streets and historic buildings. The architecture, with its medieval and Renaissance influences, creates an atmospheric setting that contributes to the haunted reputation of the area. 2. Royal Mile hauntings. The Royal Mile, the main street of the Old Town, is lined with historic buildings, each with its own unique history and alleged hauntings. Some buildings date back centuries and have witnessed significant events, including plagues, fires, and political intrigue. 3. Edinburgh Castle. Dominating the skyline atop Castle Rock, Edinburgh Castle is a focal point of ghostly tales. The castle has a long and storied history, and its various structures, dungeons, and battlements are rumored to be haunted. The sound of phantom drums and sightings of ghostly figures have been reported within the castle walls. 4. Mary King's Close. Mary King's Close is an underground street that was partially buried during the development of the Royal Exchange in the 18th century. The close has gained a reputation for paranormal activity, with stories of ghosts from the Plague era and tales of supernatural occurrences. Underground vaults. 1. South Bridge Vaults. Below the South Bridge, which spans the Old Town, lies a series of underground chambers and vaults. Initially constructed as storage spaces for businesses and workshops, these vaults later became overcrowded slums. Reports of paranormal activity include strange noises, shadowy figures, and unsettling feelings. 2. Haunted history. The South Bridge vaults have a dark history, associated with crime, poverty, and unsanitary living conditions. The harsh circumstances in these vaults, combined with reported criminal activities, contribute to the belief that lingering energies from the past may be responsible for the reported hauntings. 3. Niddry Street Vaults. Another set of underground vaults is located beneath Niddry Street. These vaults have been the subject of paranormal investigations, and stories of ghostly encounters abound. The oppressive atmosphere of the underground spaces, coupled with tales of past tragedies, adds to the sense of haunting. 4. Paranormal tours. The haunted reputation of the Old Town and underground vaults has made them popular destinations for ghost tours. Tour operators share the history of the sites along with alleged ghost stories, creating a spine-chilling experience for visitors interested in the supernatural. While the authenticity of these ghostly tales is a matter of personal belief, there's no denying the captivating history and architecture of Edinburgh's Old Town and underground vaults, making them intriguing places for those interested in exploring the intersection of history and the paranormal. Castle hauntings. Scotland is home to numerous historic castles, and many of them are associated with ghostly tales and paranormal activity. Here are a few Scottish castles with reputed hauntings. 1. Edinburgh Castle. Perched on Castle Rock in the heart of Edinburgh, this iconic fortress is rumored to be haunted. Visitors and staff have reported sightings of ghostly apparitions, including a headless drummer and the spirits of former prisoners. The dungeons and the Crown Room are among the areas where paranormal activity is often claimed. 2. Glamis Castle. Glamis Castle in Angus is renowned for its mysterious reputation and is said to be one of the most haunted castles in Scotland. Legends surround the castle, including the story of the Monster of Glamis, and there are tales of secret rooms and hidden passageways. The Grey Lady, believed to be the ghost of Janet Douglas, is said to haunt the castle. 3. Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle, located atop Castle Hill, has a long history of battles and political intrigue. It is said to be haunted by various spirits, including a Highlander in traditional attire and a ghostly bagpiper. The castle's tapestry room is often associated with paranormal occurrences. 4. Cawdor Castle. Cawdor Castle, near Nairn, is famous for its connection to Shakespeare's Macbeth. While the historical Macbeth had no association with the castle, it is said to be haunted by the ghost of a lady who was walled up alive. The castle's dungeons and tower room are believed to be particularly active with paranormal energy. 5. Fyvie Castle. Fyvie Castle in Aberdeenshire has a history dating back to the 13th century and is said to be haunted by a Green Lady. Legend has it that the Green Lady is the ghost of Lilias Drummond, and her presence is often felt in the castle's portrait gallery. 6. Dunatar Castle. Dunatar Castle, located on a dramatic cliff near Stonehaven, has a haunting atmosphere, with stories of phantom pipers and mysterious sounds. The castle's history includes tales of political intrigue, sieges, and imprisonment, contributing to its haunted reputation. 7. Inverary Castle. Inverary Castle in Argyll is associated with the ghost of a harpist who, according to legend, drowned in Loch Fyne. The ghostly sounds of a harp have been reported, and visitors claim to have encountered apparitions within the castle. 8. Balgony Castle. Balgony Castle in Fife is said to be haunted by several ghosts, including that of a Green Lady and a malevolent spirit known as the Grey Lady. The castle's dungeons and tower are believed to be particularly active. These stories of hauntings add an extra layer of intrigue to the already fascinating history of Scotland's castles. Whether you're a history enthusiast or a paranormal buff, exploring these castles provides a unique and atmospheric experience. Among individuals. Royal Mile. The Royal Mile in Edinburgh, Scotland, is a historic street that runs through the heart of the Old Town, connecting Edinburgh Castle at one end to the Palace of Holyrood House at the other. The street is known for its medieval and Renaissance architecture and is surrounded by narrow alleys and closes. Along the Royal Mile, several locations are associated with haunting tales and reported paranormal activity. Edinburgh Castle. The Royal Mile begins at Edinburgh Castle, and the castle itself is said to be haunted. Visitors and staff have reported various ghostly sightings, including the specter of a headless drummer and the spirits of former prisoners. The castle's dungeons and the area around the Crown Room are often linked to paranormal occurrences. The real Mary King's Close. While not directly on the Royal Mile, Mary King's Close is nearby and is part of the historic Old Town. The Close is an underground street with a complex history, and it is said to be haunted by the ghosts of plague victims. Tour guides and visitors claim to have experienced paranormal activity, including strange sounds and apparitions. John Knox's House. John Knox's house, located on the Royal Mile, is associated with the Protestant reformer John Knox. Some visitors have reported eerie experiences in the house, and it is said to be haunted by the ghost of Agnes Sampson, a woman accused of witchcraft during the 16th century. The Tolbooth Tavern, a historic pub on the Royal Mile, is rumored to be haunted by various spirits. Some stories claim that the ghost of a young girl named Annie lingers in the pub. Visitors have reported unusual occurrences, such as objects moving on their own. Canongate Kirkyard, located near the Palace of Holyrood House, is an ancient cemetery associated with the Canongate parish. The kirkyard is said to be haunted, with reports of ghostly apparitions and mysterious phenomena. The White Hart Inn is one of Edinburgh's oldest pubs, with a history dating back to the 16th century. It is rumored to be haunted by the ghost of a former resident named Annie. Guests and staff have reported encounters with her apparition. Tron Kirk, a former church on the Royal Mile, has a history dating back to the 17th century. While it is no longer a place of worship, there are tales of paranormal activity, including sightings of ghostly figures and strange occurrences. These are just a few examples of the haunted locations along the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. The historic and atmospheric nature of the street, combined with its rich history, contributes to the prevalence of ghost stories and paranormal legends in the area. Ghost tours are popular, allowing visitors to delve into the eerie tales and supernatural history of the Royal Mile and the surrounding Old Town. Famous ghosts. Scotland is renowned for its rich tapestry of folklore, legends, and ghost stories. Many of these tales feature famous ghosts associated with specific locations. Here are some of the most well-known ghosts in Scotland. The Grey Lady of Glamis Castle. Glamis Castle in Angus is said to be haunted by the Grey Lady, believed to be the ghost of Lady Janet Douglas. Legend has it that she was walled up in one of the castle's rooms, and her spirit is said to roam the halls. The Mackenzie Poltergeist at Greyfriars Kirkyard. Greyfriars Kirkyard in Edinburgh is known for the Mackenzie Poltergeist, associated with Sir George Mackenzie's mausoleum. This aggressive poltergeist is said to be responsible for various disturbances, and visitors have reported feeling unexplained cold spots and witnessing poltergeist activity. The Headless Drummer of Edinburgh Castle. Edinburgh Castle has its own ghostly tales, including the Headless Drummer. Legend has it that the drummer boy was unjustly executed, and his ghost is said to haunt the castle, playing his drum before tragic events occur. The Green Lady of Crafts Castle. Crafts Castle in Aberdeenshire is said to be haunted by the Green Lady. Stories suggest that she is the ghost of a servant who died under mysterious circumstances. The Green Lady is often associated with the castle's tower house. The White Lady of Stirling Castle. Stirling Castle is said to be haunted by a white lady, believed to be the spirit of a woman who died during childbirth. Her apparition is often associated with the castle's gardens and the nearby Ladies' Rock. The Phantom Piper of Culzean Castle. Culzean Castle on the Ayrshire coast is associated with the Phantom Piper. Legend has it that the Piper was sent to explore a cave beneath the castle and was never seen again. His ghostly bagpipes are said to be heard on stormy nights. The Grey Lady of Stobo Castle. Stobo Castle in the Scottish borders is said to be haunted by the Grey Lady. According to legend, she was a nurse who fell in love with a wounded soldier during World War II, and both tragically died. Her ghost is believed to roam the castle. The Ghosts of Cawdor Castle. Cawdor Castle in Nairn is associated with several ghosts, including a woman in a blue velvet dress and a ghostly black dog. The castle's legends are often intertwined with Shakespeare's play Macbeth. The Green Jean of the Tolbooth Tavern. The Tolbooth Tavern on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh is said to be haunted by the Green Jean, the ghost of a former landlady. Reports include sightings of her apparition and unexplained phenomena. The Mackintosh Ghost at Rosslyn Chapel. Rosslyn Chapel, famous for its intricate carvings, is associated with the ghost of a man named Andrew Sinclair Mackintosh. Legend has it that he died during construction and continues to roam the chapel. These famous ghosts contribute to the mystique and allure of Scotland's historic sites, castles, and landmarks, attracting those interested in exploring the supernatural aspects of the country's rich cultural heritage. Literary and cultural influence. Scotland's haunted history has inspired numerous literary works and cultural references, contributing to the country's reputation as a land of mystery and the supernatural. Many writers, filmmakers, and artists have drawn inspiration from Scotland's haunted locations, legends, and ghost stories. Here are some notable literary and cultural references. 1. Macbeth by William Shakespeare. Shakespeare's play, Macbeth, is one of the most famous literary works inspired by Scottish history and folklore. While the play itself is a work of fiction, it draws on elements of Scottish history, witchcraft, and the supernatural. The atmospheric and eerie setting adds to the play's enduring popularity. 2. Sir Walter Scott's writings. Sir Walter Scott, a prominent Scottish novelist and poet, often incorporated elements of the supernatural in his works. In Waverley and Red Gauntlet, for example, Scott weaves tales of ghosts and supernatural occurrences into the historical and romantic narratives. 3. Robert Burns poems. Robert Burns, the national poet of Scotland, wrote several poems that touched on supernatural themes. In Tam O'Shanter, Burns explores themes of witchcraft, ghosts, and the supernatural, creating a vivid and eerie narrative. 4. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. While not directly set in Scotland, Robert Louis Stevenson, a Scottish author, wrote this famous novella that explores the duality of human nature. The dark and mysterious themes in the story contribute to the broader Gothic literary tradition, which often includes elements of the supernatural. 5. The 39 Steps by John Buchan. John Buchan's thriller novel, The 39 Steps, features a chase across the Scottish moors. While not a ghost story, the novel captures the atmospheric and mysterious qualities of the Scottish landscape, adding to the sense of suspense and intrigue. 6. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. Diana Gabaldon's Outlander series, set in part in 18th-century Scotland, incorporates elements of time travel, historical drama, and the supernatural. The series has gained a large following, and its portrayal of Scotland's history and landscapes has contributed to its cultural impact. 7. Film and television. Scotland's haunted locations often serve as backdrops for films and TV shows. The atmospheric castles, misty moors, and historic cities provide a visually compelling setting for stories of the supernatural. Examples include films like The Wicker Man and TV series like Monarch of the Glen and Rebus. 8. Ghost tours and tourism. The cultural fascination with Scotland's hauntings has led to the popularity of ghost tours in cities like Edinburgh. These tours often blend history with ghost stories, taking visitors to haunted locations and sharing tales of the supernatural. This fusion of storytelling and history has become a cultural attraction. Scotland's haunted sites and legends continue to captivate the imagination of writers, filmmakers, and artists, ensuring that the country's rich history of the supernatural remains an integral part of its literary and cultural heritage.